buddy. We're going. Okay. Hey, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a redo of one that I have already filmed. This is going to be my health update video. I did already film this. It was quite long and I wasn't really happy with it in the end. I'm going to do this as a two-part. This one's going to be my health update, and then I will film Charlie's birth story separately, just so it's not so long. One kind of leads to the other. They're connected, so that's kind of my plan around this. So today is going to be a commute with me video, number 3, I think, in this little series that I started. I just dropped the boys off at daycare. It's their last day at daycare. As of tomorrow, I am screwed, for lack of a better phrase. They're going to be home with me all the time. And we're really trying to come up with a good way to do that we all are happy and survive the year. So, yeah, this is going to be a commute with me video. We're driving home from daycare at this point, and let me go ahead and tell you about my health issues that led up to huge complications and stress for the birth of Mr. Charlie. Okay, so to explain it best, I have to start at the very beginning, which was about last year at this time, right when COVID began, which was horrible timing. I started having breathing issues. I started noticing that when I would move certain ways that I could feel that my breathing wasn't right. It got worse as the summer went on. I found out that I was pregnant with Charlie on July 1st. And people had assumed, when I would tell them about it, that it was pregnancy related, because the symptoms, like the signs and the weirdness that I was experiencing, were things like shortness of breath, the inability to exercise or move. I had 0% cardio ability. I would even have to rest going upstairs. The biggest issue and sign for me that something was wrong was that when I would breathe, if I were to wake up and take a breath without mentally preparing to take a breath, I would choke and I would go into a coughing fit, which is crazy weird for someone who's decently active, decently fit. And I didn't have any of that going on beforehand. The other was that I was clearing my throat a lot more often, and I mean a lot. I would be breathing, and then all of a sudden I would just be choking on my own saliva, which is crazy annoying. And I would have to do that every few minutes at least. And then as it progressed throughout 2020, it got way worse, and by about October I was clearing my throat hundreds of times a day. If you were to talk to my coworkers at work, Heather especially, my friend at work, or Chris even at home, they would tell you how insanely obnoxious it was. Chris thought that it was a nervous tick of mine. I wish people would not do that. You might see in the rearview mirror there someone biking against traffic with no reflectors. Anyways, literally 2 kilometers from where someone was hit last summer on the same stretch of road. Anyways, but yeah, Chris thought it was a nervous tick of mine, that because I was making myself so aware that I was doing it, that is what was causing me to do it even more, that I was causing my own whatever. But that was not true, and I knew that, because why would that just come on randomly last April? The reason I think he said that was because I was also diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder last year. The doctor wanted to medicate me. He wanted to have me on some medication to try. But I was pregnant, so we forewent it for the first 12 weeks. And then after that, I just decided I didn't want to do that. So we're just living with that. That's a separate issue. But yes, the breathing thing, I went to my family doctor originally. This is where all the crazy begins. I started with my family doctor, as most people would, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. So in a really quick way of telling you how all that crazy went down, went to my family doctor first. He was actually away. His replacement was there. She was like, yeah, that seems odd. She used the stethoscope and checked me. She's like, your lungs seem fine, your airways seem fine. I'm like, well, I'm not fine. So she made a note for my actual family doctor to, look into it when he got back. So when he got back, same thing. I had to go in and see him. He sent me referrals for an ear, nose, throat specialist and a breathing test at our local hospital here. That was in June. So yeah, I noticed in April. I kind of ignored it. I mostly ignored it because we were just starting this whole bull crap here in the world, this COVID crap. So I ignored it. And I had a COVID test done. It was negative. So I just thought it was kind of odd that I was having breathing issues in the middle of a pandemic that is being spread by breathing. So anyway, yeah, family doctor, got the replacement, finally saw the family doctor. He sent me a referral for the ear, nose, throat person and a breathing test at our local hospital. That was in June, as I said. I seen him in June. I got the ear, nose, throat specialist appointment in December. I didn't get to see him until December, I think, like the 10th. And he's seen me. That was not long here, so I waited that whole time, kind of suffered it out. Went in, seen him. They put this really long, skinny hose up my nose and kind of down my throat. And he was looking, he says, no, your airways seem fine, your nose, everything up through the nostril, your sinuses are great. He says your throat, everything is fine up to about here. He says, I can see from what he could see, he says, in my opinion, you have some narrowing going on below your vocal cords. And honestly, as soon as he had said that, I stopped listening because I was so happy that there was something wrong, which was terrible because I'm sure he told me what might cause that or how that happens or what to do or who to see. But I didn't hear any of that because I was just so happy that it wasn't just a nervous tick, that it wasn't just in my head, that I wasn't, it wasn't just a normal bodily function that I was, focusing on too much and causing, letting my head run wild. So as soon as I realized that I had tuned him out, I had to come back to Earth and ask him, and he said that he would refer me to his, colleague at Vancouver General Hospital for an appointment with her because she is a specialist in everything below the vocal cords. So there was nothing he could do, nothing wrong in all the things that he specializes in, so he sent me to her. So now at this point, I've seen 3 doctors. He's referred me to the 4th. I seen her within a week, which was great because the other appointment took 6 months to get. So obviously it was worth them looking at. It was some sort of priority because they sent it in, fast. I got that referral fast. So I seen her on December 18th. They did the same horrible test with the long, skinny, camera tube down the nose into the throat. And she confirmed also that I have a narrowing in my airways below my vocal cords. And that is actually called subglottic stenosis, which literally means your airways narrow. And yeah, so I was quite pleased to have someone confirm it. So she was my 4th doctor that I saw. So now that it was confirmed, the only treatment for it is surgery. Couldn't do that. Again, pregnant. Neither one of us wanted to do that while I was pregnant, so we put it off. That was, again, December 18th. I I was due in March, so we were leaving that alone until I had the baby, and then I was due back for another appointment. I did actually just see her last Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I saw her last Thursday, and now that I'm not pregnant, the stenosis, so the narrowing, has actually gone down, so that means it opened up. So my airway is actually more open. When she's seen me in December, it was between 30 and 50%, which means I only had 50 to 70% of an airway, which is why I was choking and finding it hard to get air. So it's actually better. So we're leaving it. She's given me a prescription for something that is known. I don't know what that means. It's known to open the airway. So she wants me to be on that for 6 months, see where we're at. A surgery is required at some point. There's no way I'm escaping a surgery. So at this point, we're just prolonging the time until that's necessary, which sucks, but here we are. The thing is about subglottic stenosis, we're just gonna call it SG from here on out, is that it doesn't just get better. It doesn't. So like, again, she's put me on a medication. Oh my gosh, come on, people. She's put me on a medication to open the airway, but eventually, you know, we're gonna have to deal with this surgically. So there's 2 surgeries that can be done, and it's dependent on what kind you have. So if this is, there's two ways that you have this, 2 reasons. One is called idiopathic, which is most commonly present in white women over the age of 25, which I am all 3. So that means, like, idiopathic, that just means that there's no reason, there's no explanation that my body is having this reaction or that this is happening. The other is autoimmune. It's like it would be an autoimmune disorder. And I'm not sure how they confirm either one. Lab work came back fine, everything was normal. So I'm assuming it's idiopathic, and so is she. But yeah, if it were autoimmune, they could laser away the tissue that is narrowing my airway, and then it would just be gone. I could be put on medication, and that would be that. But because it's the other, the likeliness is going to be, that's a very wordy sentence, but what's likely going to happen is that I'm going to be on this medication she's given me forever. She has said that, to keep the airway as open as possible. And every 2.5 to 3 years, I'm going to have a surgery to prevent, correct, band-aid this problem, which really friggin' sucks, honestly. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. But, so the surgery itself is, she says that it's done endoscopically, so they'll cut 2 little incisions, and they will actually put like a medical balloon in there and like blow it up and like expand my airway, and most whatever that means, people, that fixes the symptoms, keeps the symptoms at bay for about 2.5 to 3 years. Everybody's different. And then you have to go back and do it again, and that is going to be me forever, apparently, because my body just decided to come up with a new punishment this year. So that is the whole kit and caboodle of what I have, what is wrong. That is, that's the main thing that's wrong. That came on last year, and here's the fun fact. Here's how I discovered it. I was actually making a TikTok video, which was the So You Think You Can Dance, and if you're on TikTok, you probably know what that is. And I was going to be competing in a dance competition with my kid's little, dancing robot thing. And when I did that, that was how I realized that there was something wrong with my breathing. Something was going on. So that little robot, which I no longer have anymore, I should have kept him. He actually, that stupid little robot might have saved my stinking life. Because had I just ignored this is the thing, like I said, it doesn't get better. It's not just going to resolve itself. So if you ignore it, your airway will literally just narrow and narrow and narrow, and and someday it will be a grave decision that you've made to leave it that long, and bad things can happen. So I'm glad that I didn't, and I'm glad I decided at 32 to join TikTok and make fun little videos with my kids' freaking toys, which is super weird, but that stupid little thing saved my ass. So, that's fun. That's fun. That's just my weird fun part of the story. So yeah, I also have other things health-wise going on. I don't take care of myself, which is terrible to say out loud, honestly, but like, I have an abscess on a tooth up here that's been there for years. I don't know, maybe that's contributing to some stuff. I need to go for my dental cleaning and a dental checkup, and I'm just so lazy. Like, my back hurts all the time too. Pregnancy or not, probably just horrible posture. I have the posture of a fish. I am horrible that way. So there's just a lot of things I need to do to help me. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna spend the next my year off here getting some things fixed and corrected and working on. I'm gonna start exercising again, go see my workplace, my employer. Actually, one of our companies is a chiropractic clinic, so like, why I don't go when it's free is just stupid. The other one is actually a fitness studio, so like, same thing. I'm not taking advantage of that, and it's free, which is just stupid. So yeah, we're gonna spend 2021 at home with the kids, trying to, improve my self-care and keep the kids happy and sane and learn how to live together and operate together. But that is my health update. That is the major thing that happened to me health-wise for all of 2021. And we're still working on that. Again, we're going to wait 6 months, see where I'm at, because it is better. It's only at 20% now, which is nice, instead of the 30 to 50. I don't feel like I'm suffering. I'm not clearing my throat constantly. Actually, it's gone way down. Chris even has noticed that, like, I don't do it, nearly at all. And if I can avoid surgery for as long as possible, that's what I'm going to do. So that is the health update. This is part 1 of the video. Part 2 I'm going to film later, and that will be Charlie's birth story, which is also affected by this horrible breathing issue, because it was quite the nightmare. Oh my goodness, that car just went through a red light in front of me. I'm turning left. The left-hand turn signal is red, and he just went anyways. Yes, there we go. There's the green. Okay. Wow. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end the video, and I will see you in part 2 to tell you all about the craziness that was Charlie's birth. Bye. Damn it. I just realized while I was filming that whole thing, I drove right past Starbucks, and I was going to stop and get a coffee. Shit. Oh well, we have the mix at home. I'll just have to make it myself now. See, I told you I was lazy.